Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Live at 1205 here at the Isle of Wight County Museum. My name is Rachel and I'm the curator here, and I'm excited to have a couple of pieces from some artifacts that we had come into our collection recently that we're going to talk a little bit more about, and talk a little bit more about just ceramics in general. Sometimes they're really hard to identify, or there's some really interesting different key features that we're looking for to kind of separate up and identify some of our ceramics sometimes. And we try not to get too much into the weeds with it sometimes because it's a lot of information. So these come from a site east of Windsor, and it's a kind of irregularly shaped property, about 10.6 acre area. The property would have originally been part of a 100-acre tract that went both north and south of a railroad line, and pretty interesting and unique property shape. It looks a bit silly on maps. Originally, there was some sort of residence located near there about 1838, is what the archaeologists are kind of guessing at this point. One of the things that they do find there are a couple of pieces of pearlware that's found out there. Also, I pulled a little piece of creamware that we can also compare as well. But pearlware is technically produced during the final quarter of the 18th century, but really doesn't come over here until predominantly more 19th century. Only 7 artifacts dating to the 18th century were discovered during this archaeological excavation. So we're going to focus a little bit more on some of the ceramics that were found, specifically some of the pearlware pieces. So we have this one here, which is a pearlware piece that has the somewhat recognizable edge here that has a bit of green to it. It would have had a green decorative edge to it. And this particular fragment is pearlware with a blue-green edge and would have been a bowl rim fragment. You can tell a little bit based on the curved shape of the piece. One of the things that's interesting about pearlware is that because of the fact that all of these different types of ceramics are to a certain extent trying to all kind of copy the same thing. They're really all trying to get as close as they can to looking like beautiful, delicate Chinese porcelain. Okay. Because of that, we do see a lot of interesting ceramics that look very, very similar. So basically, as just a very small timeline, we have creamware, which then becomes more so pearlware. Pearlware becomes popular once it's created and starts being imported over here. And then after pearlware, we see whiteware also become really popular. But all of these ceramics are trying to look very delicate and white and have very fine, different delicate features painted on them. And because of that, sometimes they're a little bit hard to identify. Pearlware, typically one of the ways that you identify it is actually based on the glaze. The lead-based glaze does have kind of a cobalt blue tone to it. And so it ends up a lot of times, especially if there's some kind of pooling of the glaze anywhere, or if there's even maybe somewhere where the glaze was particularly thick, like along a rim or an edge, then you may even see blue dots or blue little, kind of randomized, it's somewhat accidental features near the edges. We also see decorative edges as well, like the green edge, or sometimes more of a blue-green or blue edge to it as well. But in particular, that lead-based glaze gives it almost a sheen to it, and it's much like comparing several shades of white sometimes, where you're looking at which one has, when compared to a stark white sheet of paper for particular, has a little bit of that blue sheen to it, versus creamware, which, much like the name suggests, has a much creamier tan look to it in comparison, versus some of the whiteware, which does get a little bit closer a lot of times to that more stark white. So one of the key features that we're looking for is actually trying to look very hard and in different lighting at what we think that glaze is made out of. We're still excited to learn more about all of our different archaeological sites here in Isle of Wight County, more about our history through these artifacts, and excited to see what the next project will end up bringing us. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Live at 1205, and we'll see you for the next one.